But do you know that there are young people going through things worse than that and making it every day? And I just thought I left something out about the family that was very important, so I'm going to have to go right back real quick. My mother died 2 years before Len Bias did. And because of me having 2 sons playing ball, working a full-time job, active in the church and in family, those 2 years I got over the grieving process very easily. Because I had so many things going on in my own life that brought about change. Running with Len, running with the other kids, just trying to get so much done. So I grieved over my mother's death, but I had not had that occasion when I really missed her. Really, really missed her. Sometimes I would want to call her on the phone, and I say, oh, that's right, Ma isn't here anymore. That's right. And my heart would get a little sad. But the clincher came June 19th, 1986, when Len Bias died. There were thousands upon thousands of people wanting to comfort me, to embrace me, to tell me how sorry they were for the suffering that our family had to go through. And in the death of Len, a dream gone. And though there were so many people wanting to comfort me, here I am with 4 children and a husband. I cried for my mother. I cried for my mother like you would never believe. Where is my mother? My mother will understand what I'm going through, what has happened here, what has happened to my son, what has happened to my life. Where is my mother? So you lie in your mother's faces, you lie to your dad, you don't call them, you don't care anything about your family, you just want to be away from them, you just want them off of your back. Let me tell you something. One sweet morning, you're going to wake up, and the only person who can give you a touch or comfort through what you're going through will be your mom. I miss my mom today. Don't take your loved ones for granted. You see the earthquake right out here in San Francisco. They're still trying to pull moms and dads from out of that rubble. Young people are crying. We know that you have no control over the date you're born. You have no control over the date you die. What you have control over is that dash that's in between. No man knows the date, the time, or the hour. All I'm saying is don't take your loved ones for granted, because in a twinkling of an eye, they can be gone. And do you know what hurts? To lose a loved one and you have not expressed the love to them that you should have while they were living. Don't take your loved ones for granted. Your little brothers or sisters either. Well, this one young lady came up to me and told me that she had lost both of her parents in the same year, and I told her another story. I said, look, that's sad and I'm sorry for you, but I've heard a story worse than that. A young lady came up to me at the middle school level and told me that she lost both of her parents in the same year. You know, I'm telling you what hard is. But both of her parents OD'd off of drugs. This kid was in middle school. This baby was in middle school. She was not in a rehab center, a detention center, or a mental institution. She was in a school trying to make it every day. Then I was right here in Iowa a year ago, and a baby came up to me and told me that her mother used cocaine. And someone shot her in the head and killed her. And we have parents, people who care about us, an aunt, or uncle, or someone, and we can't pay attention. No matter what you're going through, someone is going through something worse than yourself and making it. I tell my son the story of my son, Jay. Jay is a typical 19-year-old, knows everything and parents know nothing, typical. But Jay has been through more in the last 3 years than the average man will go through in a lifetime. I want you to know what hard is. Now, first of all, he and Len had made plans the first part of the week that they would go out and celebrate Jay's birthday that Friday because Jay turned 16 the day after Len died. And earlier that week, they had made plans. Len was going to take Jay shopping for his birthday. But when Jay's birthday rolled around, Len was in the morgue. So Jay will never forget his 16th birthday. I just tell you this story so you can know what hard is, young people, and to let you know you can make it. Many people think that the Bias family is doing, we're doing well, but we have been through hell. Still standing in the midst of adversity, still standing in the midst of lies. See, anyone can stand up in the good times, but who can stand up when it's hard? Anyone can stand here and give a presentation when your family is fine, your children are okay, you have plenty of money in the bank, and everything is going apple hunky-dory. Anyone can stand up and give a presentation then. Well, the first game of the season, Jay said he wanted to continue to play ball. In the first game of the season, about 5 or 6 months after Len's death, Jay goes to his locker at halftime, and he finds a note there. Bias and plants have something in common. They die 3 days after they're picked. And I only say this, I don't want any sympathy. You know, I can stand today because I've done something hard. I buried my son. I can stand. So I don't need any sympathy today. If you're people that pray, I ask you to pray for my family and my strength, but I don't need any sympathy. My point today is that young people hurt one another like this every day for no reason at all. It's not a white issue. It's not a black issue. You go on an all-black campus, they hate one another. All-white campus, they hate one another. All-Oriental campus, they hate one another. All-Hispanic campus, they hate one another. All-Indian campus, they hate one another. And then when you get them all together, you have a mess. Young people full of hatred and don't even know why. Don't even know why. Why is it because you're in this fraternity, I can't speak to a brother in another fraternity? Why is it because you're in this sorority, I can't say hi to someone who's in another sorority? Why not? I respect you. All of us have different, we're all individuals, and nobody in the world has a set of fingerprints like yours. I respect you for going in the direction that you want to go in. But that has nothing to do with us sharing common interests. So much hatred, so much bitterness. And don't even know why. Well, Jay continues on. The guys make gestures with their nose, run down court. You're nothing, your brother's nothing. And again, he's only 16 years old at this time. You're nothing, your brother's nothing. One guy comes up, wham, blind shots him in his jaw, cracks his teeth on this side, and gives him a concussion. And he lays there crying because he thought he was dying like his brother. He didn't know what was happening. But Jay continued on. I'm talking about T-U-F-F, tough. And you cry about baby things. I told you the story about the girls, the young people who are going through problems today. You can make it. Jay continues on. I was attending one boarding school, and the headmaster had directed me to the ladies' room while he dismissed the young men to come to the auditorium to hear the presentation. And the only thing I could hear, they had no idea I was in the building. The only thing I could hear were the Len Bias jokes. What was the last thing that Len Bias said before he died? Ah, ha, 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 ha. Laughing. But that doesn't hurt because I've done something hard. And it's something about waking up young people and learning what life is about. As I said, people will not always treat you good. People will not always pat you on your back. Everyone will not always say they love you or they like you. But you must have that self-satisfaction. You can pull that strength from within yourself to believe in yourself. You must believe in yourself and stop believing lies. Stop believing lies. Jay continues on, leads his team to the state championship, the first time in 19 years. When Len Bias was there, he didn't even accomplish that. He got there, but they did not win it. Well, guess where we have to play? the University of Maryland Cole Fieldhouse. Now that was very trying for the entire Bias family, but we made it out there. God gave us strength to stand, and we made it out there. And Jay went out there with all of the memories, all of the pain, all of the hurt, all of the hurt, all of the hurt, all of the hurt, and the hard times. In 2 games, he scored 49 points and 30 rebounds to win the Most Valuable Player award in the hard times, not the good times. The first time his team, Northwestern High School, had won a state championship in 19 years. And it came on the back of a man that was going through personal pain and toil. There are no cakewalks in this society today, young people. The grass may look greener over there, but when you get over there, it is still tough to cut. You must take a stand. Well, Jay continued on to college. He went on to college and played in a junior college. We thought that a junior college would be good for him, primarily because when he put his foot on a Division I floor with his name being Bias, it would always be a camera or something there asking him questions. So Jay went to school for 1 year, attended a junior college, and then this June passed, he was in summer school, and then June 19th came. Whenever the NBA draft comes, it's always a very low time in our home. And isn't it odd that it's something we will have to live with as long as there's an NBA draft? Father's Day is always right around that time of the NBA draft. It was Father's Day 4 days before Len died. Jay's birthday and the NBA draft always come together. Well, Jay started summer school, and one of our dearest friends, another young man that is just like a son to me. I lost one child, but God gave me thousands. And this young man was drafted into the NBA, a very, very, very dear friend of ours. And with that, Jay was crushed because it was instant recall to his brother. All that his brother should have done, all that his brother's life should have been about. And he came to me, he said, "Mom, I'm not going to play basketball this year." I told him, I could see as a parent that he was upset for what had happened in Mike's life. Mike is playing with the Phoenix Suns. I could see that. He could not continue in his science classes out at the university, out at the college. And he said, I'm just not going to play ball. I'm going to go back to school and I'm going to study and I'm just not going to play ball. I need people to stop being in my face telling me that I need to be like my brother. People are trying to make me my brother. You must put on more weight. You must gain more weight. You must play better. You must work harder. You must do, because you will be Len for us. And after 3 years of going through all of this, he realized that he had not healed the way he should have on the inside, going through the grief of his brother's death. So he decided not to go to school, and it's fine with me. Because what good is it to be in school and you don't have inner healing, inner strength? If you don't know who you are in here today, you're wasting your time. My son now found a little job working at a little exclusive nursing home with little white-haired old women and men, and he takes them and sits them down at the dining table. He goes and helps them off of the elevator. He has little friends out there. I mean, helping someone else has brought healing into his life. I never dreamed that this guy would be a waiter. Who? The big macho? No. Serving tables? No. Taking orders from senior citizens? Oh, no. But it has brought healing into his life. And what good is it for him to go to school to try to please me and anyone else and play ball when he's still empty on the inside? And so many of you are still so empty, so lonely. You must take time to stop, to find because it will be in vain. So hurt, so torn, and you don't know which way you're going. So I don't care if it takes him 5 years to get himself together, as long as I can see my baby going through the healing process. Yes, he's my baby, 6'7", gets on my nerves, thinks he knows more than I do all of the time, but I love him. And I work with him. And he's out there now when he even drives the car. He was shouting at a senior citizen the other day, and then he said, oh, that's right. You know, Ma, working with these senior citizens out there at the Colington, he said, you know, I'm sensitive to elderly people now. I like them, and many of you dislike elderly people. Wisdom and knowledge, that white hair, and that's where Jay has found healing. For some of you who are broken and hurt, if you want healing to come, reach out and help someone else. Reach out and touch someone else. There are no easy answers to the mess that we're in this life. But I know the most fulfilling thing for me is to come out and to bring a life-changing message to young people. The sixth and last lie, we'll run through this very quickly. The number one killer of our young people within the next 2 to 3 years will not be drugs, alcohol, violent crimes, or suicide. Suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Every life has reason. Every single life on this earth has reason. And all problems have solutions. All problems have solutions. I don't care what problems you're experiencing today. There's someone going through something worse than yourself. And you can make it. And I say this because I was in a certain state a couple of weeks ago, had an auditorium with over 1,000 young people in it. And when I said something about suicide, I could see on 200 of the faces there at least that these young people had thought about suicide. And it stifled me, so I went back. I could not believe that so many young people in high school have given up hope and are looking for a way out. Every one of your beautiful, precious lives has meaning. Every life has reason. Reason. You've already guessed it. The number one killer of our young people within the next 2 to 3 years will be AIDS. And I take this opportunity to put a plug in for AIDS because I've been on campuses like this before, and they'll have 20, 30,000 people on the campus, and they'll bring the best minds in and have the best panel discussion and have 30 people to come. So I put a plug in wherever I have young people gathered together. This is life-changing. I have 2 sons at home, 15 and 19, who think they're the best thing since sliced bread. I have a daughter, 21 years old. The things that I say to you, they can tell you I say it in the home. And what I say out of love and concern. Because the world has painted a lie. Every time you cut on TV, every time you go to the movie, it's not right unless you see that T&A, as they call it, or whatever. Someone naked walking around or lying in bed, and oh, it's so great, it's so adorable. Do you know that these people are standing there on a scene with cameras all around them, and they get up off of that love-making scene, put on their jeans and sweatshirts, and go home and try to live a life just like you every day? It's a lie. If I have sex, I'll feel so good, it'll be so great. Where you could contract this disease in your bloodstream, now a female can contract it in her cervix, give it to who she's having sex with, and to her unborn baby. Now there is a new strain of cancer out that is being contracted in young women who are sexually active. Now there's a new strain of AIDS out, the heterosexual population, male and female. If we don't stop believing the lies, babies, This auditorium will have standing room only in the next 2 to 3 years, with young people saying, "Save me, help me." I was in a certain state the other week, and a facilitator there, a health educator, shared with me that on our college campuses, this is from a survey she had done, 4 out of every 10 young people will contract this disease if they don't have it already. And one thing about this disease, it's very deceptive. It hides itself. It stays hid. It's so intelligent that it does not work to kill you fast, because if it kills you, destroys you, it destroys itself. We must get the facts today, young people, and stop pussyfooting around and believing lies. And then not only that, so many of you are involved in it and you don't feel any better. Oh girl, it was so, oh girl, he was so, oh girl, she, lies, lies, lies. Most boring experience. Lord, let me get up from here and go on. Why did I even come here? And you young men, think about it. How many young ladies do you lie down with that you would even consider marrying? Think about it. Think about it. A young man came to me at the college level and said, "Mrs. Bias, young men respect young ladies who respect themselves. Young ladies respect young men respect young ladies who demand respect. Young ladies, you are the key. Your bodies are fearfully and wonderfully made. They're not garbage cans. You are beautiful. You don't let anyone just use you over and over and over again to say you had a boyfriend, or to be able to have something to input in a conversation when someone starts talking about sex. It's a lie. And so many young people are hurting today because of the lie. I have a button that I carry around with me that simply says that male and female virgins are first-class people. If you're not a virgin, I don't care. Where you're coming from is not important. Where you're going. If you have a beautiful baby, lift it up, get it blessed, get a good education, and teach it good moral standards. If you've had abortion, where you're coming from is not important. Where you're going, none of us are perfect. But decisions have to be made now. Will you receive this information and still continue on the path of death? Will you not choose life? And you beautiful, precious young men, you have to listen, because you think you're getting over on the young ladies, and you're fooling your own eyeballs out. I have read the book of Proverbs to my 2 sons, and over again in the book of Proverbs, it never tells young ladies to watch out for young men. It tells young men to watch out for young ladies. Watch out for how their beds are set and how they have the beautiful tapestry and the perfumes, because he that falls in her bed falls into a trap. And you think you're getting over. You have sex before you're married, it's total preoccupation. It's a quest that you work for all of the time. It's just like being on drugs or alcohol. It's something that you must do. That rush will come where you will need to be fulfilled, and you will look over there, and this girl here will look like she'll be the one that's all right, and you'll catch the disease. Decisions have to be made. There are no easy answers. None of us are perfect. But if you don't help the victims, you are helping the oppressor. And when you refuse to take a stand for your own life, you are helping the oppressor. Young people, it's okay to be yourselves. Young men come up and say, "Mrs. Bias, the only thing I wanted to do was just to have companionship. I don't want to go to bed with anyone." Young ladies come up and say the same thing. "The only thing I wanted to do is just, have a companion, a friend. I don't care about going to bed." But everyone is doing it because they think the other wants to do it. I thought she wanted to do it, but I thought he wanted to do it. He didn't want to do it, and she didn't want to do it, but everybody's doing it and don't want to do it. I mean, what is it? Be yourselves. And young ladies, I hear this on college campuses all of the time. And it never fails that someone sitting here has been faithful and close to some young man for 3 or 4 years, and it's almost been like husband and wife. And then when he graduates, he does not marry the girl he's been with for 4 years. He goes way over 300, 400, maybe 1,000 miles away and gets himself something pristine and nice. He doesn't want to marry you. And young ladies, our ultimate goal one day is to have a husband and a family. And see, today, we need men who can stand so that they can keep families together. Not just men, every time you see something on TV or something that's always a man. We women should be appalled, really, that when they sell a beer, it always has to be some sexy woman walking up and down to sell a beer. When they're selling cereal, it's always some sex involved. Whatever. We should be appalled that we're being exploited this way, but we go on with it. Well, the TV says, and I'm just going along with the program. It's time for us to wake up. Young ladies, you will want to get married one day, and I tell my 21-year-old daughter this as well, that when it's time to get married, no man, believe this, no man wants a cow that has been milked to death. Okay? I am serious. I am serious. This is why we have so many divorces now. Because we have people who were sexually active before they got married, then they decided to come together, and every time the husband would go out with the wife and a female approached him, the wife always had to say, I wonder if he went to bed with her. And every time a male approached his wife, he had to wonder, I wonder if she went to bed with him. And it causes nothing but conflict. Just going back to basic moral standards. There is a hymn that I love, and I will not sing it, but it says, don't wait till the battle is over, shout now. Because you know in the end, we're going to win. And I know we're going to win. We have great odds. We have great problems today, but I have faith in you. I believe that you will try to do what's right. No one can make it up the smooth side of the mountain, only the rough side. And the rough side is where you cry. I don't understand. Why me? What happened to my life? How come? Why? You learn from that experience and you climb. Then you go through another experience and you learn and you climb. You go through another experience and you keep learning and you climb. You keep learning from your experiences. You don't let them take hold of you and bring you down. You learn and you keep climbing and climbing and climbing. It's called life. At the end of every storm, at the end of every storm, at the end of every storm, there is a new beginning. I don't care what storm you're going through today. There is a new beginning. And trouble does not last always, young people. But you must take a stand. You have to take a stand because you're fearfully and wonderfully made. You're so beautiful. You don't know the beauty that you have within you because you're listening to lies and foolishness. Get to know who you are. And then everything will look a little better in life. In closing, a young man went to the top of the mountain. It was so cold there, he said, I think I'll go back down the bottom of the mountain. But when he got there, there was a snake at the top. And the snake asked him, will you take me back down the bottom of the mountain with you where it is nice and warm? And the young man said, no. I've been told about snakes. I know snakes are no good. No. I will not. And against his better judgment, the snake kept enticing him, the snake being so cunning and so subtle, enticed him. And he picked the snake up, rolled the snake up in his coat, took the snake down to the bottom of the mountain, and he set it there. And the snake coiled up in the sun, and it bit him. And the boy said, hey, "You bit me." And the snake said, "Of course I did. You knew what I was before you picked me up." And I'm here tonight to tell you about the snakes that are in your lives. But always a snake doesn't look like a snake. If you could see it, you would never touch it. You would say, "Ooh, that's a snake." You would go away. So it has to make itself look good. It has to be wrapped in a pretty package to distract you, to make you come over, to lure you over, because you would not touch it. And many of our babies are touching the snakes today, and it's not good. You look like you're heading down a path for life, but that path leads to death. For those of you, and I'm not coming to offend anyone, I'm telling you, those of you who belong to a church or whatever, what you get in church, wherever you worship, use it all week. Don't use it just on Sundays or whatever your Sabbath is. Use it all week and apply it in your life. It'll help you to stand. The last verse of Whitney Houston's song, "The Greatest Love of All," says that when everything else has failed, find your strength in love. Right back to that frail and unsubstantial thing called love that no one wants to be bothered with, called true self-love. Where you're coming from is not important, where you're going. Don't believe the 6 lies, babies. Don't believe them. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. Choose life. Those initials for life stand for love is forever. Love is for everyone, beginning with the love that you must have for yourselves. It has been my honor and my pleasure to be here. Please, babies, may God bless you and take care. Try to make the right decisions. Take care of your beautiful selves. You are accountable for yourself. Take care. When is the last time you called your mom or dad, told them that you love them? When is the last time? Don't take your families for granted. May God bless you. I love you. Try to do the right thing and have a good night.
Thank you for being here tonight. And also, if you'll take a look on the back of your program, there's a listing of all the rest of the events in National Collegiate Alcohol Awareness Week. We encourage everyone to make as many of these events as possible. Thanks.